In the glare of studio lights, a duchess walked into the lion's den of daytime TV, her secrets a ticking bomb no one saw coming. What if the crown's rebel faced the queen of talk, and the mask cracked just enough to shatter illusions? The set pulsed with artificial warmth, sunlight streaming through oversized windows that overlooked a fabricated Los Angeles skyline. Plush white couches sat center stage, flanked by potted palms and a coffee table laden with branded mugs and fresh flowers, roses, ironically, in full bloom. The audience, a sea of eager faces under the hum of overhead rigs, buzzed with anticipation, their applause signs flickering like distant stars. Upbeat theme music swells, then fades. She entered from stage left, strides measured yet graceful, her silk blouse and soft ivory catching the light like a sail in the wind. Dark hair cascaded in loose waves, framing a face that held poise and a flicker of wariness. Eyes sharp, lips curved in a practiced smile that didn't quite reach them. A subtle contradiction, the diamond earrings glinting royally, but her hands clasped tightly, knuckles pale, as if bracing for impact. Ellen leaned forward, her signature grin wide and welcoming. "Meghan, it's an honor to have you here. After everything, the move, the family, how does it feel to be back in the spotlight on your terms?" Meghan settled onto the couch, crossing her legs with deliberate ease. "It's liberating, Ellen. But terms are tricky, they're often rewritten by others." Her voice was calm, laced with an edge that hinted at battles fought in silence, staking out the ground of personal sovereignty right from the start. The conversation flowed like a gentle stream at first, Ellen tossing softball questions about charity work and new ventures. Meghan spoke passionately about empowering women, her foundation's latest initiatives drawing nods from the crowd. Laughter rippled when Ellen cracked a joke about royal protocols versus Hollywood red carpets. But beneath the banter, a current stirred, Meghan's answers precise, revealing nothing unbidden. What hidden wound would the next question reopen? As the segment progressed, Ellen steered toward the personal. "You've been open about mental health struggles. How has that journey shaped your family life now?" Meghan paused, her fingers tracing the armrest. "It's ongoing, Ellen. Privacy helps heal, but sharing selectively can help others." The host nodded, but her eyes gleamed with that ratings-hungry spark. Producers in the wings exchanged glances, one adjusting her headset, whispering urgently into it. The audience leaned in, a murmur of empathy rising. Ellen pressed on. "And Harry? The kids? Rumors swirl about palace tensions. Care to set the record straight?" Meghan's smile tightened. "Rumors are just that. Our focus is forward, on what we build together." A crew member offstage signaled for a commercial break, but Ellen waved it off subtly, her charisma masking the push. Tension coiled as questions delved deeper. Money from the memoir, family rifts painted in tabloid ink. "Doesn't it hurt, the estrangement?" Ellen asked, voice soft but probing. Meghan's eyes flashed. "Hurt is universal, but exploiting it for spectacle? That's a choice." The audience shifted, some gasping, others whispering. A producer paced, phone in hand, the control room alive with frantic energy. Could one more prod shatter the fragile truce? Meghan deflected with grace, turning queries back to broader issues like media ethics. "We all deserve dignity, don't we? Even under lights like these." Ellen chuckled, but it rang hollow. "Absolutely. But fans want the real you, the raw story." The pivot felt personal now, Ellen leaning closer, her motivation clear. This interview could boost her show's flagging numbers, a comeback narrative intertwined with Meghan's. Audience reactions amplified, claps for Meghan's poise, boos at perceived intrusions. A secondary character emerged, the floor director, a harried man in black, mouthing, "Ease up," to Ellen from the shadows. But the host, stake high in reclaiming her throne as confessor-in-chief, doubled down. "What about the Oprah interview? Regrets?" Meghan's composure held, but her voice sharpened. "No regrets in truth-telling. But boundaries matter." The exchange crackled, short sentences snapping like sparks. Ellen: "Boundaries or barriers?" Meghan: "Protection." Reflection lingered in longer beats, Meghan recalling silent nights of doubt, the cost of visibility. Enough, she whispered, but would she say it aloud? The escalation built, producers tensing as social media buzzed in real time, feeds lighting up with clips. Ellen, sensing the edge, tossed in a lighter topic. Favorite mom moments? Meghan softened briefly. Archie's laughter, pure joy. But the host circled back. And the in-laws? Any olive branches? Meghan's hands clenched. Some branches break under weight they weren't meant to bear. The audience murmured louder, a wave of support clashing with curiosity. Crew intervened subtly, a stagehand offering water, buying time. Ellen's bias peeked through, her personal stake in real talk clashing with Meghan's layered dignity. Pace quickened, questions fired rapidly, Meghan's responses terse. Why the silence on certain family matters? Respect. For them or you? Both. Tension peaked, the set feeling smaller, lights hotter. Producers huddled, one barking into a walkie-talkie. Wrap it soon. In the silence that followed, a storm brewed. What would unleash it? Meghan's values shone in reactions, dignity under fire, refusing caricature as victim or villain. Ellen, charismatic to a fault, pushed for that viral moment. Come on, spill, one untold story? The guest's eyes narrowed, a contradictory detail surfacing, her calm exterior hiding a tremor in her voice. Audience amplified, cheers for candor, hisses at pressure. The moral territory solidified, privacy's sanctity versus spectacle's hunger. Meghan reflected inwardly, longer sentences in her mind. The crown had taught her resilience, but this arena demanded more. Then, the mini-climax loomed. Ellen leaned in one last time. What really happened behind those palace walls? Meghan stood abruptly, her chair scraping back. Camera close up on her face, resolute. She reached for her mic, fingers trembling but firm. Would she rip it off and walk away, leaving the world hanging? The set froze. Producers scrambled, audience gasping in unison. Ellen's grin faltered, her motivation exposed in the raw light. Meghan's decisive action cut through, she unclipped the microphone, letting it dangle. This ends now, she said, voice steady. Mic feedback squeals. She turned toward the exit, strides echoing, the cliffhanger action a powerful rebuke. The camera panned to Ellen's stunned face, the audience erupting in chaos. What consequences would follow this bold stand? The studio doors slammed shut behind Meghan, leaving a stunned silence that roared louder than the applause ever could. What truth would the world demand now, and at what cost to her carefully guarded peace? The set was a frozen tableau. Ellen's smile cracked, her hands gripping the armrests of her chair as the audience's murmurs swelled into a chaotic tide. Overhead, the studio lights buzzed faintly, their artificial glow exposing every bead of sweat on the host's brow. The coffee table's roses seemed to wilt under the weight of the moment, their petals curling inward. Distant chatter erupts, then fades. Outside, Meghan stood in the dim hallway, her silk blouse clinging to her skin, the diamond earrings catching the flicker of an exit sign. Her breath hitched, a micro-movement betraying the storm within, resolve mixed with a flicker of fear, her hands still trembling from the mic she'd left dangling. A contradictory detail. The poised Duchess, now a woman alone, facing the echo of her own footsteps. A producer, a wiry woman named Claire, caught up, her headset askew. Meghan, wait, let's talk this through. The show's live, we can pivot. Meghan turned, eyes sharp but weary. Pivot to what? More dissection of my life? Her voice held an edge, calm yet cutting, marking the moral ground. Dignity wasn't negotiable, not even for ratings. The consequences unfolded swiftly. Social media exploded, clips of Meghan's exit trending within minutes, hashtags like hashtag Meghan walks and hashtag Ellen pushed too far splitting the narrative. Supporters praised her stand, detractors called it a tantrum. Backstage, Claire whispered to a colleague, "This could tank us, or save us." The audience, still buzzing in their seats, amplified the tension, their reactions a mirror to a divided world. Would the fallout bury her, or set her free? Ellen, regaining composure, addressed the crowd. "Folks, that's real emotion, let's respect it." But her tone betrayed her stake. a host desperate to salvage her comeback narrative. The control room buzzed, monitors flashing with live ex-posts, some lauding Meghan's courage, others mocking her dramatics. A crew member muttered, "She's trending #1. Ellen's gonna love-hate this." Meghan, now in a green room, watched the chaos unfold on a muted TV. Her phone lit up, Harry's text. "You okay? Proud of you." She exhaled, reflecting on the cost of spectacle. Long sentences traced her thoughts. The palace had schooled her in scrutiny, but this was raw, unscripted, a public dissection she'd vowed to escape. Yet here she was, center stage again. Claire knocked, entering cautiously. "The network's freaking out. They want you back for a softer close." Meghan's laugh was sharp. "Softer? After that?" She gestured to the screen, where pundits already spun her exit as rebellion or breakdown. The producer hesitated, then added, "Ellen's rattled. She didn't expect this." A beat of empathy passed, two women caught in the machine. Could a return mend the moment, or deepen the wound? The fallout intensified. Outside, paparazzi swarmed the studio lot, their flashes like gunfire through tinted windows. Meghan's team issued a statement. "She values honesty but protects her peace." It did little to quell the storm. On air, Ellen pivoted to a lighter segment, but the audience's energy had shifted, half cheering her charm, half whispering about Meghan's exit. A secondary character, the floor director, signaled frantically. "Wrap it now!" Meghan paced, her values clear in every step. Privacy was her shield, dignity her sword. Reflection slowed her thoughts, longer sentences now, recalling nights spent shielding her children from headlines, vowing they'd know her truth, not the world's version. The moral lesson crystallized: spectacle thrived on exposure, but strength lay in choosing when to walk away. What price would the world extract for her defiance? Public reaction surged. Ex-posts oscillated between adoration and vitriol. Some saw a queen reclaiming her narrative, others a diva dodging accountability. Ellen's team leaked a clip of her post-show apology. "I push for real talk, but respect comes first." It rang hollow to some, a ratings grab to others. Producers huddled, debating damage control. Claire suggested a follow-up interview, but the network balked. Meghan, now in a car speeding away, stared out at LA's sprawling lights. Her phone buzzed again, friends, allies, even strangers offering support. A viral post caught her eye, a fan's thread dissecting the interview's power dynamics, calling Ellen's probing a modern witch hunt. It resonated, but didn't erase the ache. She'd stood her ground, but at what cost? The catharsis came quietly. At home, Harry greeted her with a hug, Archie's laughter echoing from another room. "You did what you had to," he said. She nodded, but the weight lingered. Spectacle had a long shadow. The audience's divided roars, Ellen's calculated charm, the crew's frantic interventions, all underscored the cost of being seen. Would the world ever let her define herself? The resolution settled in soft moments. Meghan penned a brief op-ed, published days later, urging respect for personal boundaries. It sparked debate, some praising her clarity, others demanding more. Ellen's show saw a ratings spike, but whispers of her overreach lingered. The moral lesson held: dignity under pressure was a quiet victory, often misread by a hungry public. In the epilogue, Meghan sat on her porch, the Pacific's waves a distant hum. She reflected on the whirlwind, her stand, the fallout, the endless chatter. Longer sentences wove her thoughts. She'd left a crown to find freedom, only to face new cages built by expectation. Yet she'd walked away, mic discarded, a symbol of choice. The open question lingered unanswered: who was right? The woman guarding her truth, or the world demanding it? Tell us below. In the quiet after the storm, what legacy would her stand carve? The sun dipped low, casting long shadows across her garden. She sipped tea, Archie's toy truck abandoned nearby. The world would keep talking, dissecting, judging. But for now, she was home, free yet forever watched.